welcome to Webisode Wednesday. This is a special asynchronous Webisode Wednesday featuring SBCSS Career Tech Ed digital resources presented by Deidre Puentes. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for joining us for this asynchronous special episode of Webisode Wednesday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Deidre Puentes, and I'm a SWP K-12 Pathway Coordinator for San Bernardino Community College District, hosted at San Bernardino County ROP, where I am currently a CTE Curriculum Specialist. Today, I'm going to be presenting on San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools Career Technical Education digital resources that we have available to you. The first resource that I'm going to present on is called At Home Work-Based Learning. And what it is they are digital lessons, and they're designed with curated digital content that assists students in exploring careers independently, developing in-demand work readiness skills. Some of the things that make this content or this resource special are that it's completely free, it's available to the public, it can be linked into any LMS, and these lessons are all ready to use. We started designing at homework-based learning during the pandemic to provide content to students who were learning 100% remotely. And it has carried over into now that we're back into the classrooms so that students and teachers can explore careers and practice those in-demand work readiness skills. So if you're wondering where you can access this resource at, we have two different ways to access it. One is through Pinterest. You can use the QR code for that, or through a Google site. We developed both because we understand that some schools, if you're at school, you may not be able to access Pinterest from there. But on the work-based learning Google site, we have it divided by grade level. And then on Pinterest, we also have it divided by grade level and by topics. So even if you access it through Pinterest, just know that when you do click on it and you save that link to embed in your Google Classroom or another LMS, that it will work, because these are actually all built out in an Adobe product that is, or at least used to be called Spark. They're like mini websites. So those links should all be accessible to your students on their school-issued devices. We're going to take a closer look at two of the lessons. We actually have lessons in work readiness skills, career exploration, and career preparation, but today we're just going to look at one work readiness skill and one career exploration lesson. This picture is linked to the actual lesson itself. And as it opens up, you'll notice that it's very aesthetically pleasing. These were developed because they kind of catch students' interest, and they're rather linear, so it kind of leads them through the different parts of the lesson. So our first lesson that we're going to take a look at is this one on punctuality. Okay. As you go through, you'll notice that we give definitions. So it talks about what does punctuality mean? And then you'll notice that there are some words that are actually linked. Those are links to the actual definition of those words. We wanted to make these as user-friendly as possible for different levels of readers that are on different levels. As you go down further, you'll notice that this one starts off with a question to get the student thinking. If a person arrives at the exact time they're supposed to, are they truly on time? So as they read through this, they'll start to think about what it really truly means to be on time. Here is one of the videos that we selected from YouTube that is embedded for the students to watch that will further expand their understanding or knowledge of what punctuality means. We like to include some quotes throughout the lessons. And then here we talk about, I preface a lot of these with questions to get them thinking, and then to talk about what the consequences of being late would be. And then there's a video, and then they have kind of a reflection question there. Once they watch the video, they can read through, after they watch the video, they can answer. Here are consequences of being punctual, and these are positive consequences, not negative consequences, as most people usually think. And it also gives an opportunity to think about other additional positive effects about arriving a few minutes early. As you go through here, you'll notice that there are more than just reflection questions or questions. So here we have how punctual are you? And there's a quiz that's linked out that the students can take to see how they rate their punctuality rate. And then this one is, where did all my time go? So this is one of the real first activities that students could actually do and turn in as a work product. The first one is an online time survey where they can fill out what they've spent their time on. It's like a log. And that way they can go back and analyze it to determine where their biggest waste time, I'm calling like, what is it, a vampire? Like, where are you losing all of your time? However, there's also a printable one that teachers could print out in the classroom, and you could do this in the classroom with them and have them keep track of all their time for either a day or for a week, so that students can come back and analyze it to determine how they could reprioritize their assignments to make sure they get as much done as possible. This lesson then goes into time management, as being able to manage your time better really affects your ability to be punctual. There's a time management quiz, and then there's also a video on how to prioritize tasks in a way that really matters and really makes a difference in your efficiency. As you keep going, you'll see that here's another activity where they practice making a to-do list, and this is to help them prioritize their items or their tasks in a way that allows them to get as much done as possible, or in a quality manner. There's links to articles that are outside of this little website that can also help students gain a deeper understanding. And then here's some tips for being punctual that's included in this article. As you continue going, we get down after they've kind of went through all this information and that they've thought about what punctuality is, how they can be better at being punctual, how they can manage their time or prioritize their lists or tasks. Down here, you'll see that we get to two scenarios that are proposed. One is about a doctor's appointment, and then there's one about the bathroom being backed up. That will have students use what they've learned in the lesson to come up with an answer to those scenarios. In the very end, you'll notice that we have a link to the Inland Empire Career Map. This map actually is a link out to a map that is hosted on an Esri story map page, where students can actually see the different career technical education pathways that are available not only at high schools, but in community colleges throughout the Inland Empire. So you'll see the blue dots are community colleges, and the purple dots are actually the K-12 LEAs. As you scroll down, you'll notice there are links to each different industry sector. And these are the CDE, California Department of Education's industry sectors, the ones that are recognized. If you have a student who's going through and it's like, oh, I would like to be a pilot, or I would like to work at Disney, they might click on hospitality and tourism. And this would allow them to see another map that identifies where pathways in hospitality, tourism, and recreation are located within the Inland Empire. You can see that any of the purple dots are the high schools that offer those pathways. The blue ones are the community colleges that offer the pathways. And then these lighter colored blue bubbles indicate employers. And this map includes information on employers that are in the area. So this is for Emerald Cove Resort. Sorry, I can't read that very well. And it employs 50 to 99 people. And this would help educators identify places where students could work in this industry as well. If you go down a little bit further, there is also a sortable list that you could look through, or you could sort and see what different pathways are available in this industry sector. And it tells you which high school that each of those are available at. On the left, this is the location of the community college programs, and it is also sortable. It includes some labor market information, and it actually has in-depth labor market reports on different careers or jobs within this industry sector. It's a very good resource if you have students you would like to do career research or to identify how they would go about earning a degree or taking a CTE pathway course in an industry sector of their choice. This career map link is located at the end of every one of the lessons that we have in our at-home work-based learning library. Excuse me. The next lesson that we're going to take a look at is actually supply chain and logistics. And to be honest, I thought that this would be boring, but this lesson has is one of the highest looked at or viewed lessons within our at-home work-based learning library. I'm not sure why, but a lot of teachers or people have found it interesting. So this one I developed in a manner that was to ask questions of the user or the reader to help them identify where they have interacted with the supply chain or logistics in their everyday activities. So as we scroll through here, we'll see that it starts off with a question like, have you ever purchased an item and wondered how did this item get here? Or shopped online and the website says only 2 left, order now. Or order an item and it's at your door in 2 days. If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you have experienced supply chains and logistics. So trying to get them to think about how my everyday activities are impacted by supply chains and logistics. When this was done, it was like at the tail end of the pandemic. So I definitely wanted to draw on something that the students could identify with. So I've included a video here about the toilet paper shortage that occurred during the pandemic. And then we kind of take a look at how the pandemic equaled opportunities for companies to change the way they source products and get them delivered to their customers. We also look at supply chain management and those key areas, which is raw materials, the suppliers, manufacturing, distribution, retail location, and customer. Like what do all these products go through just to get it in the customer's hands? Then we take a closer look at the 5 basic steps of the supply chain. And once I've shared that with them, it goes on to a video where they have to do an activity. Now, this is one of the activities that a teacher could use to have the students actually turn in a work product of some sort to help assess whether or not they kind of understand what those parts of the supply chain are. This video is about the journey of a pair of jeans and then asks a series of questions. So as they watch the video, they have to answer the questions. They have to identify what are the raw materials, where are they manufactured, what's the difference between end users and consumers. So there are questions here that will help assess whether or not they understand those basics of supply chain. Here, we give them an opportunity to explore different careers that fall within supply chain. So you'll see that there's 5 careers linked here. And this would be an opportunity for the student to explore those careers, possibly give them a Venn diagram, have them select 2 of the careers to identify how they're the same and how they're different. What are the key aspects or characteristics of each of the jobs? These are usually always linked out to either the ONET or to Career Zone. So the California Career Zone, these are linked out to the California Career Zone, where it provides a lot of information about that career, the skills needed, the information, education, things like that. So this would be an opportunity for students to actively explore and compare different careers within the supply chain management field. Then we go into logistics, and that looks more about moving the resources, people, materials, inventory, and equipment from one location to another. And then we learn about the 7 R's of logistics, and there's a video about Amazon's warehouses. And it asks a question about how do the warehouse process assist the company in meeting those 7 R's of logistics. We take a look at how the 4 main methods of moving freight. And there's a video here at the end that talks about how massive amounts of merchandise are moved around the world each day. And then here's another opportunity for students to take a look at careers that are more related to logistics as opposed to supply chain. And the very end, I've added one on drones because drones is an increasingly in demand for different delivery items. Now, lastly, this one I didn't focus on a lot. However, there are a lot of jobs that have to do with planning and research and process design that fall within logistics and within supply chain management. So if you have students that are more data driven or more process driven, these might be careers that would interest them more. In the end, we give them an opportunity to actually brainstorm the list of raw materials that would need to be sourced to get this product to the shelf for the consumer. And then I have done another one here on what are the 7 R's of logistics? What a list of special considerations that would need to be taken in order to get the avocado from the orchard to the table. And it's a key reminder to use the 7 R's of logistics. And then here we have the impact of consumer behavior on supply chain and logistics, and how those items get delivered. Lastly, here's the link, just like in the other one, the Inland Empire Education Map. We've included those links, like I said, so the students can identify where career technical education pathways or programs, educational opportunities are available to them within the Inland Empire. Okay. So of those, that one was on career exploration. The other one was on a career readiness workshop or career readiness skill. So some of the things I put down here for classroom use might be that you have the students, if you embed the link to the Google site into your LMS, students could then go in and self-select one of the lessons to complete, and then they would turn in whatever activities or work products are within that lesson that they've chosen. Another idea might be to do mini lessons, because some of the lessons, they can either be anywhere, take somebody 15 minutes to 2 hours to finish. Some of them are a lot longer than others. So you may, as an educator, you may go in there and decide, like, I really only want to focus on this one part of this lesson. So you might put it on the overhead and go through it as a group, as a class, and then have the students work in pairs to do one of the activities that were in there. And that may take the entire class period, depending on what you as the teacher supplement this content with. Or it could be a standalone. You could link a specific lesson within the LMS and ask the students to turn in any of the activities that are embedded within the Spark or the mini website itself. I'm sure there's many other ways that you could use those. Those are just some of the most common uses for these digital lessons. So the next thing that I'm going to take a look at that San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools has been working on through Workforce SBCSS Department and in collaboration with Skills Gap and Mountain Desert Economic Partnership are mobile educational apps that teach students about specific industry sectors, about work readiness skills, and it connects them to careers that are high skill, high wage careers that are available to them within the Inland Empire. So we're going to take a look at 3 apps that we have so far. The first one we're going to take a look at is called The Employable. And this one was developed in partnership with Mountain Desert Educational Economic Partnership, and it was designed by Skills Gap. So soft skills, the employable, that's the idea is that your employable, if you have the soft skills, are the first things employers mention when discussing required skills for new hires. We use this link here, which is a guide to essential skills that was developed in partnership with MDEP and employers from throughout their region. This essential skills guide lists the skills that are most in demand, and those are the ones that this entire game was built around. So some key things about the Employables is that this app provides students the opportunity to practice in-demand soft skills. We're going to take a look at that in a later slide, what those actually are broken out, what they look like. It introduces students to high-skill, high-wage careers in the Inland Empire. As the students play these games, it gives them information on what careers are available, how much they could make, what education is required for careers that actually exist within the Inland Empire. This data is pulled from job postings that are within our region. Okay. And the next thing that's special about this particular app is this app was tested by students and named by students. Last fall or last year, about this time, I guess, we had over 600 students throughout the Inland Empire test the app, give feedback on if they found any glitches, if there was content error, and over 400 students actually submitted the form with feedback on the gameplay itself, and that information was used to update the app, and they actually had the opportunity to select a name, and the Employables was the name that was selected by Inland Empire students. This is a teaser video. I'm going to play a little bit of it for you so you can see what some of the gameplay looks like. So that was just an example. That's the teaser trailer that they put out before the app launched last year. So inside the game, these are a few screenshots that you'll see in this particular game. Some of the mini and challenges, which are developed around those essential skills, are games on empathy, instructions, following instructions, efficiency, response time, ability to manage resources, delegation, the ability to prioritize, interviewing, and hiring. So as you can see, that delegation and prioritization, that kind of goes back to that punctuality and time management spark we talked about earlier. So this actually gives students an opportunity to practice them on the go in the things that are going on in this game. As the students pass each of the levels, they earn badges. The badges that they can earn are leadership, teamwork, work ethic, critical thinking, and communication and empathy. Once they've earned all 5 of those, they can earn the Soft Skillionaire badge in the top left-hand corner there. One other thing to keep in mind with this game is the premise is that the students, as they pass each level, they level up in their responsibilities. So they start out as an employee, they might move up to middle management, and then they'll move up to higher level managers where they will need to make hiring and firing decisions as time goes on. And as they meet those, they earn the additional badges. So this slide here gives you the opportunity to scan the QR code and download the app. This QR code will actually ask you if you're using an iPhone or Google Play, Samsung. That way it can take you to the correct store to download the app and play the game. I believe all you have to enter is your email address and your zip code, because that zip code allows the app to link the player to those that career data to careers that are in the Inland Empire. Okay. This slide was just placed in here because I did have some people contact regarding recovery of their password. This is here just for helpful information in case it's needed. So the next game we're going to take a look at is Cyber Watchdog San Bernardino. This game was launched about a year and a half ago, and it's all about cybersecurity and digital literacy. I'll play a little bit of this video here. This is its teaser trailer, so you can see what some of the gameplay looks like inside this app. So in this app, the 5 mini games include PC Builder, which requires the player to identify key parts of a computer, binary code, which helps them identify foundational patterns of computers' numbering system, password hash, verify the integrity of passwords, phishing scams to authenticate identity of safety and external communications, and password strength, assess the vulnerability of secure information. All of those are very important to keeping personal information safe, keeping information at work safe, and to safeguarding their digital footprint. So this is the only game at this point that can be played in both English and Spanish. I believe that our goal is to eventually have all of them translated over into both English and Spanish. However, it is a bit of an endeavor, and we want to make sure that it is a good quality translation. And as those become available, we'll make people aware that those additional ones are available. But Cyber Watchdog is the only one that's available in English and Spanish. These are the badges that are available within this game. So you have Cyber Starter, Cyber Citizen, Cyber Staff, Cyber Sleuth, and the soft skills badge. They have a soft skills one here because they're in a work environment, so they get to practice those skills in this app as well. And then eventually, if they earn all 5 of those, they can earn the Cyber Watchdog badge. This is the link or the QR code where you can scan and download this one if you'd like to play it and see what it's like. And again, I give the password recovery screenshots just in case anyone needs to recover their password or have any issues with that. My contact information is at the bottom. So for our next game, it has not launched yet. So I don't have a teaser or trailer video for it, but if your school, middle, high school, adult school, ROP, or even entire school district would like to participate in this launch, it's coming up really quick. And we're talking like next week on the 16th. This is an opportunity, the QR code on the flyer and that link, the Healing Agent launch, the bit.ly link there. That is a Google form that allows you to register your school, district, ROP to participate in the launch, which means you would host a table this fall, one before spring break, and that you would post flyers throughout the school in high traffic areas and in some classrooms to share the information about this app. This app is called Healing Agent, and this one is based on the medical field. The players have an opportunity to work in various medical settings, such as the emergency room, a pediatrician's office, and some other ones, and they practice technical skills that are related to the medical field, and they also get to practice their soft skills just like they do in the other apps. This is a great opportunity for student leadership. So if you have a CTSO, which is a Career Technical Student Organization, or ASB, a club, or any of your CTE pathways that would like to take on the responsibility of hosting the table and sharing the app with students, you would want to scan the QR code in the top right-hand side. If you're still not sure, you want to learn more, the bottom left-hand corner there says New App Launch, HA. That will take you to our webpage where you can find the CSDPA, California State Student Privacy, I can't remember what it's called, but we do have an agreement between Skills Gap, the developers, and with San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. So they have agreed that they are keeping all the student data private, and they do not collect certain things. So, and that's not the end. So if you would like to stay tuned and keep up to date with what we're coming up with next, you should scan this QR code and it will take you to our Want to Play a Game page, where you will find the ones that have already launched, a page for new app launch, and we will be having another launch in the spring, and that will be for a manufacturing game. And that game will, as these other ones, will connect the students back to those high-wage, high-skilled careers that are available in the Inland Empire, and give them the opportunity to learn workplace vocabulary and how to do specific technical skills, practice specific technical skills that are specific to that industry. So our next one will be manufacturing. After that, we have one more. So you may be wondering, like, oh, okay, well, all these are mobile apps. They can play them on their phones, but what if I don't want them to use their phone in the classroom? Well, as we continue to move forward, the health agent game is going to be a web-based game that would be available to be whitelisted and placed in, the link could be dropped into your LMS for students to access those games. However, since that's just the only one so far, the manufacturing, when it comes out, it will be the same way. After we've launched all 4 of the apps, Healing Agent, manufacturing, we will do one more launch, and that will be for the suite of apps that can be used in a single sign-on software such as Clever, where if a district chooses to adopt that digital content, they can place that link within their single sign-on so students can access it through their school-issued devices. So there's a lot of stuff going on around this gaming and the digital content, so you'll want to stay up to date on that as well. That's all I have for you today. I have my contact information here at the end of the presentation. And at the bottom, you'll see the CTE Dig resources. That is the presentation itself. So you'll have all the QR codes and all the links. And if you have any questions, or you think of a at-home work-based learning that you would really like to see in our library that's not there, please feel free to reach out and we will see what we can do. Thanks and have a great day.